Hello. So for my lesson assignment, I decided to make a video explaining what we did and how the implementation went and everything and evaluation because I think it is easier to explain over a video because it's more engaging and you're able to see more and it's easier for me to talk rather than write. And so I was like, since we have the opportunity to do a video, I think I'm going to take it and do a video. And so for my lesson, it was presented to second graders who have a little prior knowledge in the concept that we are working with. We are working with coins, but not a whole lot. They still struggle a lot. This was a newer concept, and so a lot of basic steps had to be taken before you could really dive into the heavier content and the new content within the lesson. So they have some prior knowledge on it. They're second graders, and the goals, or so the standards that are being taught within this unit. So this was the first part of our money unit. So some of our standards, like we will not cover everything within our standards, but it's part of what will continue on in the next part of the unit. So our standard is second grade MD2, so this is in math, and second grade MD9. So these are solve word problems involving money bills or dollar bills, quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies using money and cents symbols appropriately. And the other one is identify coins and bills and their values. So the goal is to have the students fluent in working with coins. So being able to look at a coin and know exactly what it is, how much it's worth, and I can use this and that will give me, if I use 2 quarters, I can get something worth 50 cents. And so just being able to be fluent while working with coins. Some learning objectives are the students will be able to correctly identify coins and their values at 100% accuracy. I know a lot of times when we're doing objectives, we don't require 100%, but I feel like with coins, it is necessary, and that's our goal. We're going to be working towards 100%, and we are going to strive until we get to that 100%. Students will be able to calculate the worth of coins and at a timely manner. I get that not every student's going to know it right away, but that's why we're working, and we're going to get it so we are able to look at a coin and know exactly what it's worth and what coin it is. Another objective, the students will be able to implement the usage of coins in their lives. So they should be able to go to the store and have change in their hand and be able to buy something. Well, they can't buy a whole lot with coins nowadays, but they will be able to know that if I spend 4 quarters, I can get something for $1. And that's how much that is worth. If it's worth $1, I can take 4 quarters and that's how much it's worth. The ISTE standard that is being used that fits this lesson is 1.3D. Students build knowledge by actively exploring real-world issues and problems, developing ideas and theories, and pursuing answers. And so that I felt like it tied well because this is like real-world things, and so they're finding solutions of how to take a coin and use it within their daily life. So to start on the lesson, day 1, we are going to just start with skip counting. I read an article that it is important to make sure that you start with skip counting when you're starting with coins, so you can make sure that the students have that knowledge of, okay, if I have a nickel, 5, 2, 10, 15, 20, and so then that helps build that knowledge, and it helps them count when they revisit that concept. So to start the lesson, we will be doing skip counting, and we will get in a group, a circle, and we will start with one student and continue on skip counting, and we'll do that twice for each one. So 5, 10, and 25. And then after that, we went into taking coins, and every student had coins, and then I was able to hold up a penny and say, okay, grab your copper one. It's the brown looking one, and that is a penny. And so we talked about every single coin. They were able to have that visual, and they were able to see it up on the projector. So that was some materials and technology that was used within that part. And so day 1 was really just like getting a grasp on coins and skip counting and diving into, this is what a coin is. We talked about the basics of a coin. Okay, this is how it's worth this much. And so like you can go to the store and use this. And so just really like getting basic knowledge on coins before diving into the next day. So that was day one. We just needed our materials were coins, and then our thinking cap, so we could get into diving into what coins are. Day two consisted of some more activities and some revisiting of what we talked about yesterday and working towards really implementing what we learned and taking that. So we started off with revisiting how much our coin is worth, which one is which, what they look like, and so then with that, we were able to start with a coin scoop activity. And so I have all of the printouts, but I left them at home and I'm in my office right now. But they'll all be attached below the video when I post this. But the coin scoop activity, so you will need red Solo cups or any cups. I just had red Solo cups at home, so I used those. And then coins for every student, the printout of the coin scoop bubble printouts. And I just went ahead and I put the tables at, or my groups were just who their table partners were. So if you don't want to do that, then you will need to set up something to divide up your kids. And so this is just a quick little way for them they put their hands in the cup and they pull out so many coins, and it's like, okay, this is how much I grabbed. I had 4 dimes and 5 nickels, so I have 65 cents. And they have a little sheet that then they write on, and then they also have little bubbles that say, okay, I scooped 5 dimes and 4 nickels or whatever, and then it says this is how much the coins I scooped were worth. And then there's one that you give the greatest amount of coins, or the greatest amount of money that you scooped, and the least amount of money that you scooped, and what that was made up of. And so then that was also a formative assessment that I was able to see where the students were at. If they were struggling, I was able to walk around and see where they were at. Another activity we did was I have Who Has cards. They will also be attached. But this is something I bought off of Teachers Pay Teachers, and it was actually free, so that was awesome. Love free stuff off Teachers Pay Teachers. But they were just little cards that had a certain amount of coins, and so a kid would say, how much they would read their coins, and it'd be like a card was, I have 15 cents, who has? And so just like worked like that, and the kids really enjoy that. It really they really want to stay focused and be alert of, okay, what do I have? Okay, that's not what I have. Oh, okay, that's not what I have. And so then they know and they're paying attention. And so I really love I Have Who Has cards. I feel like kids just really are energetic and they are engaged when they have those. And so then we also continued on with talking about with that. We're like, okay, so then I said, okay, I want you to go farther, and I want you to say, what do you think you could buy with however much money you scooped up? So, obviously a lot of it's like, oh, I could get 1 gumball, or I could get 2 gumballs, or, oh, I might be able to get 2 pieces of candy at a concession stand, or I could get a sucker, and because but that's good for them, because a lot of times the parents oh, here, you can go get something, and they give them 50 cents, or they give them $1. And so that's good for them to be able to take that and implement that into their life. And then, we had this was our more of our summative assessment, but like I said, it wasn't the end of the unit, so this was just more of this part. And this isn't the end of the coins, which is just a 3-day working through it, learning, getting the basics, and seeing where the students are. Obviously we still are talking about coins, and we're going to continue talking about them, make sure we have fully mastered them before we move into the dollars. And so it is the counting money worksheets. It was just 10 questions, I believe. It just had different coins, and they had to write how much that was worth. And then they also, with a partner, they were able to, this was before the assessment, they were able to say, okay, they would just hold up a quarter or a dime, whatever, and they say, okay, what is this? And then they'd be like, okay, that's a dime. How much is it worth? 10 cents. Until like they just kind of went back and forth with the partner. And so that was, again, using those coins that we needed at the beginning. But I felt like my students were able to get a hold of the coins a lot quicker than I thought they were going to. But then uh, whatever. And when I say students, I guess I needed to let this know. This was to my roommates because I do not have my own class. But so obviously they got it a lot quicker, but yes. So I felt like the lesson went well. Like I said, it was easier giving it to students or like to my roommates that had knowledge before and everything. But I kind of prepped them and was like, hey, you are second graders. This is how you kind of would be. This is how this is your knowledge and everything. And so this was also when I subbed once. We were talking about money, and so I kind of took where their knowledge was and implemented in with my roommates, and was like, okay, this is like kind of like some things that you might have struggled with, and so like when I was when I was doing the lesson that the sub or the teacher had left for me as the sub, I like kind of took where they were at and everything and implemented it in this lesson. And so I feel like the lesson went well. I thought it was planned out pretty well. I had my standards and objectives and goals and everything. And materials, I had what I needed. But also, like, obviously, if I was giving this to a real classroom, it would take a lot longer. I would have to slow down and make sure that they were following along. And, you would need to focus more time in between those activities and be like, okay, so we truly need to like grasp this concept, and we would have spent more time really getting that background knowledge before moving into the activities. But I feel like the activities really would be strong and help the students learn and pay attention and be engaged. So, like I said, the papers and printouts and handouts and everything, they will be linked below the video. But like I said, I think this would be a great way to teach the coins and money in the classroom. But I enjoyed creating this lesson. I thought I found some good resources, found some good articles that helped me really think about, okay, like I had never thought, oh, I need to like talk about skip counting right before we give this lesson, like implement this within the lesson. So I thought that was a cool fact or article that I found about this lesson. Thank you for listening, and I hope you found this helpful. If you ever need to teach coins or anything, let me know if you guys have any questions. Thank you.